trust in you. He don't need me to worship, but I feel so out of place if I haven't honored my Lord at least 5 times.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم سيدنا محمد وآله وأصحابه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. All praise due to Allah, the Lord, cherisher, nourisher, sustainer and master of the universe, the most gracious, the most beneficent, the most merciful. Ya Allah, it is on you that we worship and it is your guidance that we seek. Ya Allah, keep us in the straight path. Ya Allah, shower us with the choice of blessings. Ya Allah, shower us with your mercy. Ya Allah, guide us. Greetings, salam, salutations on our beloved Nabi Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. 13 minutes past 3 Central African time on this beautiful Friday afternoon. Yes, we all are now winding down, and it is the 16th of May 2025, the 17th of Zulqa'dah 1446. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to the social network on Radio Al Ansar. My name is Faisal MJ Suleiman, and I'm sitting in for brother Zahir Basa. I'm sure he's going to be back with us inshallah ta'ala early next week, but till then, yes, we will be sitting in for him. We must Zahir, but the show must go on. Yes, it is, as I say, a beautiful Friday afternoon, and today we do have a power pack show for you. We will be talking to Mufti Hamza Farooqi, inshallah, Muhammad Hamza Farooqi, inshallah, and he'll be talking to us about Qurbani in Malawi. We thereafter will be talking to two very, very successful academic individuals, Dr. Muhammad Hussein Suleiman and Dr. Naima Suleiman, and they will be talking to us about their road to becoming doctors and their challenges, etc. And then we've got the South African Police Services that have honored us with their presence as well. We'll be talking to Sergeant Gili, and she'll be talking to us about kicking off community unity in Sydenham. And of course, at the hum is Tobeka, who's engineering for me. Tobeka, I like the smile on your face, Tobeka. Excellent, excellent. We have online with us Mufti Hamza Farooqi. Mufti Saab, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Mufti Saab, Jazakallah khair for joining me on the program this afternoon. Now, Mufti Saab, we're unpacking something that connects our local communities to something much bigger. We're going to be chatting to you, and we know that you're part of the Jamiat KZN team and dedicated assistant with Al Ansar's Welfare and Outreach Department. And we're going to be talking to you about Qurbani in Malawi. Now, Mufti Saab, for those of us, who don't know much about Malawi, can you paint a picture of why Qurbani is so impactful there and what the situation is like on the ground there in Malawi?
Absolutely. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. First and foremost, Malawi is one of the poorest countries in the world, with over 70% of its population living below the poverty line. Many families, of course, hence would struggle to get meat as part of their daily nutritional needs, let alone, getting their day-to-day necessities and day-to-day needs as far as meals are concerned. So meat for the people in Malawi is a luxury. It is something that they would look forward to, especially during Eid al-Adha, where, alhamdulillah, Qurbani would serve as an opportunity for these communities and these individuals that are living below the poverty line to receive some fresh, nutritious meat. And often, of course, this is only once in a year that they would see meat, and many a times it would be the first time in their lives. So we've had incidents and cases of elderly people up to the age of 90, who at the age of 90 was their first time getting a portion of meat in their lives. So this is the need that you can, see and look into why we should be assisting in this project of Qurbani in Malawi. Of course, it's not only about food, it's also about the dignity, inclusion of these individuals in this great ibadah and sacrifice for the sake and pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, where we try to ensure that everybody can take part in this sacred ibadah, either by contributing and allowing us to see a successful project, or by helping and assisting in doing the Qurbani physically or if they do not do that, at least they'll benefit from the meat that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made halal for this ummah to enjoy and eat on the days of Qurbani, on the day of Eid al-Adha, for us as Muslims.
Now, Mufti, many of our listeners are curious about where the animals actually come from and how it all works. Can you walk us through this process?
So animals are sourced locally. So there are a lot of villages across the central, southern, and northern regions of Malawi. There is farmers and families that survive on selling and buying of goats over the years. So there are a lot of welfare departments and organizations that would be working. So what they do is they'll go into a village and they'll empower a family with 3 goats, 1 male and 2 females. And that individual will then take care of these goats, get a few more animals, and sell over the years while keeping some of his stock. That will be a means of rotation, and that will be a means for animals to come to his and to his, so to say, business. They would use the milk from these animals. They would take care of these animals. These would be a means for them to survive, etc. So like that, there are many individuals who have many farms where they would sell their animals, while others would have a greater share or a bigger number of animals. From all around these villages and areas, during the days of Qurbani and out the months, so every month, there are certain areas, for example, in a place called Mangochi, they actually have a market where they would be selling goats every month. So the first Monday and Tuesday of a month, there would be, so many people coming from different villages and areas where they would be selling these animals. So our ulama are there. I'm personally supervising this entire project. My brother is there, my father is there, and ulama who are assisting in selecting the right animals that fulfill the criteria of Qurbani being done in the correct way and in accordance with the Sharia. So once all these animals are purchased, then they are taken to our to the Darul Ulum and to our residential areas, where these animals would then be kept up to the day of Eid. And of course, then on the day of Eid, we follow the various procedures and the Islamic rulings as far as Eid Salah is concerned. And thereafter, the entire mechanical process and step-by-step process that we have in place for the distribution of the meat. So, of course, it comes from slaughtering, skinning, slicing, packaging, and distributing. So as far as distribution of the animals is concerned, in the next week or so, we will have the heads of up to 70 villages come to the Darul Ulum. They would be given guidelines and they would be given tickets. So approximately 1,800 families benefited last year. So 2 weeks, approximately now 2 weeks before Eid would come, they would get these tickets. And on the day of Eid, they would be given an allocated time to come. So there will be 3 distributions of approximately 300 to 500 packets of meat that could feed an entire family for at least 2 to 3 meals. So based on, of course, the family size, we would give them the amount of meat. Must remember that they do not have freezers and fridges where they can keep this meat. So they would keep it for a maximum of overnight. The same day they would enjoy that meal, and the next day they would also enjoy part of that meat. They would distribute it amongst their friends, amongst their families. So that is the impact, and that is the distribution also on the day of Eid with this entire project. Inshallah, whoever can be part of this project, inshallah, you can put in and assist in this great project that we will be carrying out this year, inshallah.
Now, Mufti Sahib, if somebody wants to participate, in fact, I'm sure some of our listeners might have just tuned in now, how can they become part of this incredible effort? How can they contribute or get in touch for more information?
They can contact Apa Saliha from the Outreach and Welfare Department on our radio station number, that is 031-208-1601. I think that's the number.
It is. 208-1601.
Inshallah, they can contact Apa on that number for any other further queries in this regard. We will be doing goats only, and each goat would cost you 1,200 rand, which is, of course, way cheaper than doing your nafil and optional Qurbani in South Africa. If you could assist us with this great project and contribute towards this noble project, cash donations can be done in our offices by APA or by our finance department, or you can EFT into the banking accounts that have been advertised for this particular project, inshallah.
Yes, Jazakallah for joining on the program and sharing the information with us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all your efforts, reward you abundantly and grant you success in this project, inshallah.
Ameen. Jazakumullah khairan to you for having us. Alhamdulillah.
Shukran Mufti Sahab. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
We spoke to Mufti Hamza Farooqi, and Mufti Hamza Farooqi is spearheading the Qurbani project, which is also being partnered by the Al Ansar Foundation, and our outreach department, Apa Saleha, is attending to the necessary insofar as the project is concerned. So do make your contributions and do contact the Al Ansar Foundation for further details.
Looking to book your next holiday? Make your way to One Stop Travel and Tours. At One Stop Travel, we offer a wide range of holidays at the most competitive prices. Group tours, tailor-made holidays, cruises, transfers, accommodation, travel insurance, and car hire. Visit our website on www.onestoptours.co.za for our current Turkey specials, Mauritius school holiday deals, and Umrah packages. Choose from a multitude of pre-made packages. Visit one of our branches in Overport, Gateway, Musgrave Centre, Fordsburg, Westwood Mall, Pavilion Shopping Centre, Chatsworth, Phoenix, and Cape Town. Contact us today on 0860 109 500. One Stop Travel and Tours, your one-stop travel shop.
Elegant, stylish, and affordable. Al Noor kurtas are designed to make you feel confident and stylish with intricate embroidery, vibrant colors, and comfortable fabrics. These kurtas are sure to become your go-to choice for everyday wear and special occasions alike. Visit the Al Ansar Bookshop at 207 West Road, Overport, or call them on 031-208-1601. Al Ansar Shop, your one-stop Islamic shop.
Education, health, dignity, empowerment. These wishes all begin with water. Africa Muslims Agency is committed to providing clean water to the thousands who still live without this basic human right. Support us in giving the best of charities. Provide a water well for 16,500 Rand or a borehole for 55,000 Rand in Afghanistan or 65,000 Rand in Africa. Gain Thawabi Jariyah and help communities to reach their full potential. Africa Muslims Agency, empowering, educating, inspiring.
Get ready for an exciting weekend of fun and entertainment at the King Farm Agri Fair on 17th and 18th of May. There's something for everyone, from thrilling rides, fun games, scrumptious food, amazing stalls, live entertainment, and premium livestock for Qurbani on view too. So head down with your family and friends to 10 Georgedale Road, Cateridge. Entrance is free. King Farm Agri Fair. It's the perfect way to spend your weekend. King Farm is part of the Phoenix Group of companies.
Audio stream across the world on radioalansar.co.za.
ضياء منه القمر يستحي كل النساء تود أن تكون مثلك يا عائشة بنت.
Social Network on Radio Al Ansar, and next up we're celebrating a story that's not just about books and brains but about belief, balance and big dreams. Today we're going to be meeting Durban's very own dynamic Dr. Joe, Dr. Muhammad Hussein Suleiman and Dr. Naima Suleiman. These siblings just graduated from UKZN's Nelson R. Mandela School of Medicine, not just side by side but with top honors. Naima with Summa Cum Laude and Muhammad with Cum Laude, stacking accolades, scholarships and global recognition along the way, and they're still in their 20s. So whether you're a parent, a student, or just wondering how anyone managed to get on the dean's list while working those long night shifts, then you'll want to stay locked in. Dr. Muhammad Hussein Suleiman, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and Jazakallah khair for joining me on the program this afternoon.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And I must admit, it's an honor to be here, to be speaking with you after having the graduation. We've been chatting, I think, over the years when I was at the student level. Mm-hmm. So it certainly feels that there's a level up here. I'm truly pleased that my sister and I could be invited on your show. Thank you so much.
We are actually honored, Summa cum laude, cum laude. Now, these are terminologies that we very seldom hear, but well done. Dr. Naima Suleiman, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah so much for having me today.
No, it's an absolute pleasure. It's an absolute pleasure, really. Now, you've been each other's academic and emotional support system. What's the reality of going through such a demanding degree with your sibling, and it's always teamwork over the moments of healthy rivalry? I think you want to go for it, Babar Hussain, go for it.
I think it's more support than anything else. If there's a challenge whereby we are competing with each other, it would be healthy competition. It's something that we build on each other, we grow on each other, and we learn to develop like that. I think it's a privilege. It's an honor. The Almighty, we call it an amana that is bestowed upon us. And more often than not, we take it for granted. We don't tend to see the blessings we have, but when it's taken away. And so it becomes important we continuously remind ourselves. I have such a strong support system, whereby my sister is with me for the last 6 years. I'm with her, and we can support each other not only in the professional setting, in the clinical setting, but also personally, how we can grow and to develop, but also the family. So, the competition or the rivalry that you mentioned is healthy, it's good, and it's progressive, and indeed it's a blessing.
Alhamdulillah, undoubtedly. I'm sure, Naima, you want to tell us your version?
No, absolutely. I completely agree with Hussein. So having him as a co-pilot on this journey actually made it feel a bit more human. And I feel like we helped keep each other grounded, and we reminded each other of why we're actually doing this. And in terms of the rivalry, I believe there was some rivalry, but it was more wrapped in love. And I believe that's what made it powerful. So instead of comparison and competition, it was more collaboration and to help each other to grow.
Excellent. But I bet every time you had some sort of argument, he allowed you to win.
Yes.
I'm sure. That's what sisters and brothers are for. Now, you both emphasized service and mentorship. What advice would you give to students or young professionals about staying grounded and purpose-driven, especially in high-performance environments? Mohammed Hussain?
The advice is to always have someone to look up to. You want to be an accountant, an attorney, an engineer, or a doctor. You need to have someone to aspire towards. You need to inculcate their doings. So in our case, and for me personally, I would look up to our dean, our former dean. I would look up to Professor Salim Abdul Karim, who was truly an inspiration, I think, to the medical fraternity at large. And then to build on that, when he spoke to us in his first year, this was in our first year, I still recall it was in March of 2019. He said something so profound. It was a quote from Sir Isaac Newton, that if you want to see further, you need to stand on the shoulders of giants. He himself is a giant. When we look at those who have advanced themselves in the medical field, I think we would be doing ourselves a disservice should we not associate ourselves. And so personally, I would approach these academics. I want to learn under you. I want for you to be my mentor and to teach me the way forward. So the advice, I think, in short, is that find a mentor, find someone who inspires you, and forever be under their wing to grow yourself both personally and professionally.
Excellent. Naima, your thoughts?
The one advice I would give to young professionals is that burnout is real. So especially when you're trying to chase excellence. And for me, I believe staying grounded means staying connected to service. So volunteering, tutoring, helping out colleagues and peers, to just be reminded that medicine is about people and not just about a good performance. And my advice is to build a rhythm that includes self-reflection, and most importantly, as my brother Hussein mentioned, is to surround yourself with people who actually elevate your energy and to not lose sight of your purpose in the pursuit of perfection.
Dr. Naima Suleiman, summa cum laude in medicine, that's elite level, right? What mindset or support systems helped you push through a degree that's known for being grueling from day one?
So it was definitely a marathon, not just a sprint. First and foremost, I have to thank the Almighty Allah for the opportunity, and this only happened through His mercy. And secondly is my family, starting with my parents, my mom Aisha, my dad Soli, my siblings Nazia, Ahmed, Muhammad Wasim, and my brother Muhammad Hussein, my niece Sahra, my husband Yasin, my in-laws, my mother-in-law Yasmin, father-in-law. It was only through their du'as, their encouragement, and their support that I was able to achieve this. And most importantly, I believe it's to build small habits, and these small habits will eventually become develop into big results. So things like weekly reviews, so topics that you were not good in, to go back weekly and review these topics. And a very important point is mental wellness check-ins. We know that there are a number of doctors who actually develop mental illness because they do not take time off for themselves. So that's a very important point, is to have these mental wellness check-ins, and also just a non-negotiable cut-off time to recharge.
No, absolutely. And you mentioned husband. So I'm sure that your husband's support must have meant a lot during these tough times. How important it is to have that kind of emotional scaffolding when pursuing something as intense as medicine, especially as a woman navigating both personal and professional commitments?
I believe it's actually everything. As we know, medicine isn't just a degree that's physically demanding, it's emotionally depleting. So having a partner that encourages you, that supports you, that sees your purpose, makes the world of difference. And I believe as a woman, we generally internalize the idea that we always have to do it all. But the truth is, we actually need community, we need support. And my husband's strength actually gave me the space to excel without losing my sense of self. And I'm truly grateful for his support throughout these years.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, absolutely. Now, Dr. Muhammad Hussein Suleiman, I know, you've been, you're not used to being quiet for too long, okay? So I'm going to direct this to you. From the World Health Organization Change Maker Scholarship to speaking in Europe and Asia isn't your average med school resume. How did you balance these high-level opportunities with the demands of your degree?
Well, I must admit, it was really tough. It was time consuming in that the process, firstly, to apply for leave, to be granted that leave from the university, from the clinical setting hospital, you then have to catch up on that either in the holidays, or your exam would be deferred to a special sitting. So indeed, it was tough. But again, with the support of my family, my parents, my sisters, my big sister Nazia, my two brothers, my niece even, at the age of 10 years old, we'd be surprised how our kids are growing and are thriving, in that you can actually learn from them. So the support system was strong. And to be speaking at these high-level events, it can be daunting, I think, at first, but the key lesson that I could actually take away: speak your mind, and you'll be surprised the support you can gain in the room. And we're talking a room of policy experts, that have come from locally, but also internationally. We're talking about ministers of health from all over the world that come together at the annual World Health Assembly that is held in Switzerland, and to be sharing your perspective. In South Africa, we have the quadruple burden of disease. And we've got so many policies that are progressive that other countries actually look to us. Look at our HIV and AIDS program, the largest in the world. We are the center for the HIV and AIDS epidemic. And, to be sharing some insights, I think for me was motivating, was inspiring, in that I can do more. There is a contribution certainly from the youth. And, I hope to continue in that kind of trajectory in the coming years.
Inshallah. Now, Mohsen, you're very vocal about healthcare policy and resource limitations. From your experience, what's the biggest blind spot in how we train young doctors for South Africa's real-world healthcare challenges?
I think we're training our doctors quite well in terms of theory, and to some extent how to apply the theory. What we fail to teach is that how the system works. We teach you so well how to save life, but we won't teach you well how to apply the system that actually fails the lives of our patients. And I think that there's a lot of improvement that can be done. Yes, the Department of Health is plagued with these systemic kind of challenges. We've heard just last week about the debt that the KwaZulu-Natal Department of Health. Already we're seeing that impact from top down that is affecting the shortages of supplies, even at the hospital, in the ward, we're even experiencing that. So there are a lot of challenges. I think we can certainly address the challenges. We need to continuously come together as teams to share our ideas, our insights. For the large part, is the issue of the funding. We've also seen at the start of this year, I think in excess of 1,700 of our medical doctors unemployed. Some initiatives from DOH now to push in 1,200 of our doctors to employment. There is some improvement. And of course, we need to go onto that kind of momentum to address these kinds of issues.
Now, South Africa's healthcare system is currently grappling with significant challenges, including the reduction of international aid for HIV programs and a notable shortage of healthcare workers. Given your first-hand experience on the front lines, how have these systemic issues impacted your ability to provide care? And what strategies do you believe are essential to address these challenges effectively?
So I believe these challenges are very real, and shortages of staff actually means fewer hands and more stress, both for the patients and the healthcare providers. And as a former student and now a young doctor, I've seen how delays in healthcare are often not due to a lack of competence, but rather capacity. And I think to address this, we need more investment in training and retaining healthcare workers, especially in the underserved areas. And perhaps more importantly, we need to involve communities in their own health strategies. As we believe in public healthcare, in the public health sector, that health education and prevention are actually our first line of defense.
Now, Hussein, do you add to that, or you're satisfied?
The systemic issues we're facing, as my sister had actually pointed out, the shortages of the healthcare workers, it's an issue that then comes back to higher education institutions. In the country, we have now 10 medical schools. I think the 11th one will soon open. And so, yes, there is some improvement, and we need to continue with that improvement. So when you increase the intake of the medical students, of course, in the end, you would have increased the number of healthcare professionals. But then the problem becomes the employment, because after graduating, you do 2 years of internship, and then is a year of the community service. You are now a medical officer. The system does not absorb you. You remain a medical officer. You can't move on to progress to a registrar and to a speciality. So there are lots of challenges, and I think it then starts off at higher education institutions. We open up more facilities, take in more of our students, but equally, with NHI, that's a massive program, probably one of the biggest of the governments. And so having more facilities, more clinics, even at the peripheries, go to these rural outskirts where health is needed. We're now focusing on a preventative approach as opposed to a purely curative approach. And I think in the coming years, we will see that material impact on the ground.
Inshallah. You mentioned national health insurance. Now, NHI Act aims to provide universal healthcare access, but has sparked debate regarding its feasibility and implementation. Now, as emerging medical professionals, what are your views on the NHI's potential to transform healthcare delivery in South Africa? And what measures would you suggest to ensure its success while maintaining quality care?
I think the idea of universal access is powerful and necessary, but the implementation of this is everything. So if we want the NHI to work, we need phased rollouts, we need a transparent governance, and we need a multi-sectoral collaboration. So quality cannot be sacrificed for access. We actually need both. And there also needs to be strong accountability mechanisms to ensure that there's equitable distribution of the funds and the services.
Moshe?
The NHI is something that has been debated from as early as 2011. 2011, the first motion was tabled in Parliament and was then only recently, I think 2023, put into law. It then went to the National Council of Provinces. In a few months, went to the President and was enacted into law. Something I think and I strongly believe we need to support. In principle, this is universal health care, universal health coverage, because health is a right. It must not be based on affordability or how much you can pay. And of course, the United Nations, or the health agency of the UN, being the World Health Organization, has forever advocated. Now, NHI is our tool to advance that particular agenda. And as I said, this project by the government is extremely big. I believe it's expected to cost in excess of about 500 billion per year. It will be phased, it will be phased in a stepwise approach. So in principle, it's good. It needs to be supported. In terms of the implementation and practically how can we undertake this project, that will be highly debatable, and it is being debated. There are various contributions. I know some of the political parties, like the DA, had cited around 50 issues with NHI, and it's good. The Health Portfolio Committee that sits in Parliament looks at each of these issues, debate how can we come together, how can we solve it. So, of course, it is an initiative we ought to support. We ought to have supported it for the years. So I think that as new healthcare professionals in the system, we are seeing some challenges. It all comes down to funding. It comes down to the systemic barriers that prevent us, from implementing these health policies. And of course, we will rise to the occasion, and we will solve these problems.
Dr. Muhammad Hussein Sulaiman and Dr. Naima Sulaiman, I want to thank you for joining me on the program this afternoon. I am personally indeed very proud of you guys' achievements, and I'm sure all of the listeners are as well. I must congratulate you guys from the side of Radio Al Ansar, from the Al Ansar Foundation. It always makes us proud when we see things like this, when we see these type of achievements. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all your efforts. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide you and grant you immense success in your future. And, I don't doubt that you'll have the interests of the community at heart. But you don't leave us just like that. I need your message to our listeners, and I need your advice to our youth as well. Because right now, many of them who are on the way home, being picked up from school, etc., listening to Radio Al Ansar in the cars, are now telling their mums that, man, we want to get that cum laude, the summa cum laude thing that Uncle Faisal was talking about. So please tell us some advice for them.
I think the advice for the parents and elders is to invest in your kids. When it comes to education, it's truly a privilege to have that education, to have that kind of knowledge and expertise that you accrue over the years. And always remember, education is an investment in you. And so what you work for, nobody can take away. For the children and for the up and coming, I always speak of a formula. I call it CP3. It's an acronym. C stands for curiosity. P1 is passion. P2 is persistence. P3 is perseverance. You'll find each of these elements tie in with each other. It's a cycle that feeds and builds. When you're curious, you tend to ask questions all the time. If you are passionate, you'll ask the right questions. If you are persistent, you'll search and find answers to those questions. And if you persevere, you'll find answers even if they are not there. And you tend to grow yourself both professionally and personally when applying this type of, this kind of secret, if you like, that's called CP3. So the parents, to invest in your kids, to ensure that they are on the right path, and for the kids, for the students, that is out there, to look up to people who inspire you. Use these kinds of advices that you receive, from your elders. Pray. Be steadfast on your prayer. You have your du'as, especially the du'as of your parents.
Oh, yes.
I don't think you'll go wrong anywhere in life.
Thank you so much. And Naima?
Just to emphasize, as Hussein mentioned, about not to lose track of yourself, to take the du'as of your elders, especially your grandparents, your parents, to not, to keep praying. Don't leave out your salah. That's the most important. I think if you have that in order, then you're on the road to success already.
Fantastic. That's it. Jazakallah khair. All the best to you guys. And assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam.
We spoke to Dr. Mohammed Hussain Suleiman and Dr. Naima Suleiman, and they spoke to us about their road to success. I see there's a WhatsApp message that's come through from Sister Lucia Sayed. Let's see what the message says. Yeah. It says, Assalamu alaikum, it's Lutfia from Vadlam. Mubarak to both the doctors and our future professors. Wow, well done. Thank you, Sister Lutfia. Time for us to take a quick break and time for the Asr Azan as well. On the other side of this, we will be speaking to Sergeant Geely, and she'll be talking to us about kicking off community unity in Sydenham. Do stay tuned.
This Azan is sponsored for the Isale Sawab of Marhum Muhammad Farooq Latib and all Marhumin. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant them the highest abode in Jannah. Ameen.
أعزائي المستمعين، حان الآن موعد أذان العصر لمدينة دربن وما حولها.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا
اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة آت محمدا الوسيلة والفضيلة وبعثه اللهم مقاما محمودا الذي وعدته وارزقنا شفاعته يوم القيامة إنك لا تخلف الميعاد.
This dua brought to you by Simplex Radio, South Africa's leading retailer of appliances, car sound and home theater systems. The surahs after Adhan are brought to you by King Farm. Contact us today for all your Qurbani requirements from slaughter to distribution. 10 Georgedale Road, Cato Ridge. King Farm is part of the Phoenix Group of companies.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس.
This salah is proudly brought to you by Khan's Chemical Industry. May this salah enlighten your soul and bring about endless blessings throughout your day. This salah was proudly brought to you by Khan's Chemical Industry. May this salah enlighten your soul and bring about endless blessings throughout your day.
Having a clean, comfortable home is every homeowner's pride. That's why Khan's Chemicals have developed and manufactured prime yet affordable quality household brands Starlight, Miracle Mum, Exterminate, and Angie to care for your home and family. With a wide range of fabric softeners, dishwashing liquids, bleachers, and all-purpose cleaners, pine gels, bubble baths, and much more, Khan's Chemicals ensures your home remains our #1 priority. For sales and other inquiries, call 011 933 4021. Khan's Chemicals, cleaning your home the way you want.
Looking to book your next holiday? Make your way to One Stop Travel and Tours. At One Stop Travel, we offer a wide range of holidays at the most competitive prices. Group tours, tailor-made holidays, cruises, transfers, accommodation, travel insurance, and car hire. Visit our website on www.onestoptours.co.za for our current Turkey specials, Mauritius school holiday deals, and Umrah packages. Choose from a multitude of pre-made packages. Visit one of our branches in Overport, Gateway, Musgrave Centre, Fordsburg, Westwood Mall, Pavilion Shopping Centre, Chatsworth, Phoenix, and Cape Town. Contact us today on 0860 109 500. One Stop Travel and Tours. Your one-stop travel shop.
It's official. Checkers Foods Kawi Park is our first food store with a halal butchery, bakery, and deli certified by NIHT, the National Independent Halal Trust. This will ensure high standards and ethical practices across our butchery, bakery, and deli from farm to table. So visit Checkers Foods Kawi Park for an exceptional shopping experience that keeps getting better and better.
With 49 years of experience in the motoring industry, Metro Car Sales has been proudly serving you since 1976. Need a great deal on your next car? We've got you covered. We offer in-house finance arranged in 1 hour. So, what are you waiting for? Call us now on 033 3942 595. Visit us today at #1 Boshoff Street, Pietermaritzburg. You can also check out our amazing deals online at www.metrocars.co.za. Metro Car Sales, your #1 dealer in wheels.
We're still in the running and you can help us win it all. Radio Al Ansar is honored to be recognized in 3 exciting categories on the Best of Durban Reader's Choice Awards 2025.
Best Local Radio Station,
Radio Al Ansar,
Best Local Radio Shows,
Urban Woman and Afternoon Jam,
Best Local Radio Personality,
Razia Rangrage. The voting deadline has been extended to 18th May, so don't miss your chance to help us win. Visit bestofsouthafrica.co.za/Durban, head under entertainment section, or simply scan the QR code on our socials and vote in seconds. Let's make 2025 a winning year for Radio Al Ansar.
Looking to book your next holiday? Make your way to One Stop Travel and Tours. At One Stop Travel, we offer a wide range of holidays at the most competitive prices. Group tours, tailor-made holidays, cruises, transfers, accommodation, travel insurance, and car hire. Visit our website on www.onestoptours.co.za for our current Turkey specials, Mauritius school holiday deals, and Umrah packages. Choose from a multitude of pre-made packages. Visit one of our branches in Overport, Gateway, Musgrave Centre, Fordsburg, Westwood Mall, Pavilion Shopping Centre, Chatsworth, Phoenix, and Cape Town. Contact us today on 0860 109 500. One Stop Travel and Tours. Your one-stop travel shop.
Durban's #1 truck stop, Reef Trade, situated at number 9 Joyner Road, Prospecton, offering a 24-hour parking facility On site with diesel wholesale and mobile distribution for vehicles, generators, plant and machinery to your door, safe parking, truck wash, container handling, restroom facilities, and more. Call us on 083 449 1563 or 083 978 6410 for a free quotation. Reeve Trade, we're here for you.
This Eid al-Adha, share the blessings of Qurbani with Sanzaf Durban for just 2,500 Rand locally or 850 Rand in Africa. You can sponsor a Qurbani and bring joy to those in need. Your sacrifice helps provide meat, monthly hampers, and supports ongoing community projects. Visit sanzaf.org.za, call 031 309 6786 or WhatsApp us on 083 564 7858. Sanzaf Qurbani 1446. Let's share the sacrifice.
The slice of life, just 9 Rand 50 a loaf. More than just bread, it's a lifeline. For only 9 Rand 50, you can help feed orphanages, old age homes, and communities in need. Every loaf goes to someone who truly needs it. Share the warmth. Share a slice. Together, we can make a difference. Call Outreach on 031 208 1601.
Radio Al-Ansar.
جئت لنا خاتما للمرسلين بدر الدجى رحمة للعالمين أبا الزهراء كم أشتاق لنلتقي وأرى عينيك في الجنة تحت النخيل بك الجمال والأمانة والوفاء عطر قد فاح نور حمرت السلام عليك يا حبيبي يا رسول الله سلام عليك يا حبيبي يا نبي الله سلام عليك يا حبيبي يا رسول الله سلام عليك يا حبيبي يا نبي الله سلام عليك يا حبيبي يا رسول الله سلام عليك يا حبيبي يا نبي الله سلام عليك يا حبيبي يا رسول الله سلام عليك يا حبيبي يا نبي الله تزينت بك الأرض والسماء والقلب بات يهتف لك بالصلاة أحسن الناس سيد ومصطفى خير الورى صلى عليك الرحمن بك الجمال والأمانة والوفاء عطر قد فاح نور حمر في الآفاق اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد يا حبيبي يا رسول الله سلام عليك يا حبيبي يا نبي الله سلام عليك يا حبيبي يا رسول الله سلام عليك يا حبيبي يا نبي الله سلام عليك يا حبيبي يا رسول الله سلام عليك يا حبيبي يا نبي الله سلام عليك يا حبيبي يا رسول الله سلام عليك يا حبيبي يا نبي الله.
Audio stream across the world on radioalansar.co.za.
An informative Islamic global perspective. This is Al Ansar News.
Making news this hour, the 16th of May, the news from Durban, 90.4 FM, Peter Maritzburg, 105.6 FM. Local media says the N3 is closed after cobalt spill at the Town Hill. Good afternoon, I'm Eric Kimonina. Traffic officials have warned that the N3 heading towards Durban at the Town Hill is set to be closed for most of today, Friday, following a collision between two trucks. Road Traffic Inspectorate Colin Govinder says the collision has caused chaos. Govinder says the other trucks were carrying a green powder identified as cobalt. The fire services are still trying to establish how severe the product is. The N3 is now cordoned off and one of the drivers has been taken to hospital. More news now. The eThekwini Ratepayers and Residents Association has welcomed the municipality's plan to provide debt relief to customers facing mounting water bills. The city has announced a 50% write-off on the customer arrears accumulated by the end of January. The mayor, Cyril Aba, elaborates.
We've taken a resolution to write off 50% of money owed until the 31st of January 2025. If you owe me anything, come forward. You pay your 50% and I write off the other 50%. But that does not affect the money you owe me for February, for March, for April, for May. You must pay me that. If you're unable to pay me your February, March, April, May, you make a debt payment arrangement.
More news now. Rescue workers today continue the search for a man who was swept out to sea in the KwaZulu-Natal south coast. The incident took place yesterday at the Southborough main beach. The 22-year-old reportedly went for a swim after doing maintenance work at a nearby tidal pool where he was caught up in rip current. Craig Lambinon of the National Sea Rescue Institute says bystanders and surfers attempted to help, but the man disappeared beneath the waves before they could reach him. Local media says despite efforts to locate the man, he is still missing. Lambinon says the search continues today. Looking at other stories now, former DA Member of Parliament Ronaldo Coase has been forced to publicly apologize for racist comments made in a social media video over a decade ago. It is part of a settlement with the Human Rights Commission. The video resurfaced last year, days after he was sworn in as Member of Parliament for the Democratic Alliance. It showed Coase making racially offensive and harmful comments directed at Black South Africans. The Human Rights Commission received several public complaints and took the matter to the Equality Court. The Commission's Wisani Baloyi says that Coase approached them in March requesting mediation. And finally, in your international story, Iran's ambassador to the United Nations says the Nakba Catastrophe Day was not the end of catastrophe, but unfortunately just the beginning, highlighting decades of ongoing displacement, occupation, and systemic injustice against Palestinians. Amir Saeed Irvani made the remarks yesterday during a United Nations commemoration marking the 77th anniversary of the Nakba, the 1948 forced expulsion of hundreds of thousands of Palestinians from their homeland as Israel proclaimed its illegal existence. Irvani says that the meeting takes place at a time when the occupying entity, with the support and assistance of the US, deliberately targets schools, women, children, United Nations staff, and journalists in Gaza. The envoy also noted that the Israeli regime and its supporters, particularly the United States, have been perpetuating a long-standing campaign of misinformation aimed at undermining Palestinian rights and distorting the reality on the ground. Your financial indicators ran to the dollar 16 rands 5 cents, the euro 20 rands 22, and the British pound is 24 rands 2 cents. A quick reminder of our top story. Traffic officials have warned that the N3 heading towards Durban at Town Hill is set to be closed for the remaining part of today following a collision between two trucks. That's the news.
Making news in Pietermaritzburg on 105.6 FM. A company contracted to manage paid parking in Pietermaritzburg CBD has terminated its agreement with the municipality. Good afternoon, I am Huda Ahmed. The company managing paid parking in Pietermaritzburg has pulled out its contract with the Msunduzi municipality, citing interference and threats to staff. The decision comes just months after the controversial introduction of paid parking in the city. The municipality says it's seeking legal advice and may consider appointing a new service provider. Local businesses have welcomed the move, calling for a more transparent and community-friendly approach to managing parking in the CBD. And in other news, KwaZulu-Natal Social Development MEC has commended the abandonment of a newborn baby in Northdale. The infant, believed to be just a few days old, was found wrapped in a blanket near a bush late yesterday. A passerby heard cries and alerted authorities. The baby is now in a stable condition at a local hospital. Police are appealing to the public for any information that could help trace the mother or those responsible. Taking a look at temperatures, Pietermaritzburg 9 to a high of 24, Newcastle 7 to a high of 21, and Escort 3 to a high of 16. For Al Ansar News, this is Huda Ahmed.
The views and opinions expressed by the guest and presenters of Radio Al Ansar are not necessarily the views and opinions of Radio Al Ansar and the Al Ansar Foundation.
Looking to book your next holiday? Make your way to One Stop Travel and Tours. At One Stop Travel, we offer a wide range of holidays at the most competitive prices. Group tours, tailor-made holidays, cruises, transfers, accommodation, travel insurance, and car hire. Visit our website on www.onestoptours.co.za for our current Turkey specials, Mauritius school holiday deals, and Umrah packages. Choose from a multitude of pre-made packages. Visit one of our branches in Overport, Gateway, Musgrave Centre, Fordsburg, Westwood Mall, Pavilion Shopping Centre, Chatsworth, Phoenix, and Cape Town. Contact us today on 0860 109 500. One Stop Travel and Tours. Your one-stop travel shop.
Running a business is tough. Managing labor issues, even tougher. That's where Viva Labor Consultants comes in. For 18 years, we've been South Africa's trusted partner in labor law compliance. From UIF to workmen's compensation and MIBCO registrations to CCMA hearings and trade union negotiations, we've got your back. Based in Durban, our team is ready to assist. Call Zonate today for free consultation on 082 501 0012 or visit us at vivalaborconsultants.co.za. Viva Labor Consultants, your labor law experts, always by your side.
Butterlicious, butterlicious, butterlicious. When the food melts in my mouth, so does my heart. Blended by our expert chefs with pure cotton seed oil. Divine lasts longer, so cook more with Divine. Divine makes every meal a special treat. It is Butterlicious. Approved as part of the Heart and Stroke Foundation Eating Plan, Cotton Mark SA, and a proudly South African product. Divine Cooking Oil. Butterlicious.
لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك.
Join me, Fatima Kareem, and the Radio Al Ansar team at the King Farm Agri Fair. It's a day packed with delicious food, exciting entertainment, vibrant stalls, and non-stop fun for the whole family. Don't miss the chance to view top-quality livestock, free entry, unforgettable memories, and a chance to meet the Radio Al Ansar team. What more could you ask for? Save the date, May 18, 10 Georgedale Road, Caterite, the King Farm Agri Fair. See you there.
Radio Al Ansar.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. If you've just joined us, you're listening to Social Network on Radio Al Ansar with myself, Faisal MJ Sulaiman, sitting in for Brother Zahir Basa. Tonight, this afternoon, we're shining a spotlight on a remarkable initiative that blends the power of sport with the heart of community outreach. The South African Police Services, in partnership with the Al Ansar Outreach Department, is hosting a youth soccer tournament that's about more than just scoring goals. It's about bringing schools together, strengthening relationships between young people and law enforcement, and building a community that supports one another on and off the field. We have in the studio with us Sergeant Gidi, who's going to talk to us about this soccer tournament. Sergeant Gidi, good afternoon to you, and thank you for joining me in the program this afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
It's a real pleasure having you here with us, Sergeant. Now, Sergeant, let's start with the heart behind this event. What's the big picture goal of the tournament, and how does Al Ansar's outreach work help bring that vision to life?
Okay, thank you very much once again, sir. Now, as police, we've got a department which is called Social Crime Prevention, right? So in that department, one of our priorities is school safety. So what we usually do each and every year, we go to schools, we talk about bullying, we talk about substance abuse, we talk about dangerous weapon and racism. As we have seen earlier this year, that schools were in chaotic period where they were fighting teachers and kids. So what we came with now is to make sure that that doesn't happen again. So what we planned is to have this tournament so that we can have a unity between these schools, because we've got Peshe, we've got Centenary, Benwood, and Sparks Estate.
Okay.
Yes. So with Al Ansar, as they were our partners or the big partners in outreach, they are the ones who assist us in going to all these places and make sure that whatever we want to achieve, they are there for us.
Excellent,
Yes, sir.
excellent. Now, where is this tournament taking place, and which schools have been invited to take part in the action? I know you mentioned some schools, but where is this taking place?
Okay, it's on Saturday, the 17th of May, 2025. It's at Ashaville Grounds. The kickoff is at 10 a.m., so people can start earlier than that. They can come earlier than that. The schools that are involved, it's Beshe High School, it's Centenary Secondary, Benwood Secondary, and also Sparks Estate.
Oh, so just 4 schools that are participating?
4 schools this year.
This year.
But next year we'll go big.
Go big.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
okay. So that's basically taking place tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock?
Yes, tomorrow morning, yes, sir.
Okay, excellent. I'm sure you must be very excited about it.
We are, yes, sir.
And for community members listening in, how can they show up, support, or even get involved in making this event a success?
Okay, we are encouraging the community at large to come and witness this great thing we've started, so that they can see how important is it for our kids to be involved in other things, so that they can not be exposed to all this substance abuse and other stuff. We need to show the parents, the communities, that the kids, beside academics, they also have talent when it comes to sports, comes to arts and other stuff. Yes.
So this will be the ideal opportunity to showcase those talents.
Yes.
And beyond the soccer, what kind of impact are you hoping this event will have on the students and relationships between schools and SAPS in the long run?
Yes. Okay. As you know, children are our future. So through sports, we are uniting schools to show love and respect for one another. So we'll stop this thing of after schools where you see as another school fighting another school at the bus stops. So we are trying to create this unity amongst the schools. And as SAPS, we are also showing the kids that it's not the only when you hear about police, I'm going to come and shoot you, I'm going to come and arrest you. We are also in partnership with the schools. So they mustn't think now if the police comes, I need to run away. We are friends, but we are trying to minimize all these things that are done by wrong people. Yes.
And I think it's important because, you mentioned earlier that we have a lot of problems facing all our schools across the country.
Yes.
These problems not confined to our area. But if you talk about area, we have these problems. You have the problem of drug abuse. You have the problem of bullying. You have this racial wars, etc., etc. And we need to address it. Now, in your experience, are we winning this war? This battle, rather, sorry.
Yes, sir. The SAPS has introduced this unit so that we can stop this thing in the early age. Because what happens now, people are on drugs, but it didn't start in that middle age. They started while they're still young.
Yes.
So what we do as SAPS is to go to schools. We're not only going to high schools, we start at primary schools. We tell them about all these things, the negative things that are affecting the kids when it comes to substance abuses, when it comes to bullying and dangerous weapon and racism. As I used to say in schools, your kid is my kid is your kid, regardless of what color. Yes, sir.
Beautiful. And how's resistance from parents?
Yes, I can say it's new to them, but they are willing to join us. Yes, because before, when you talk about police, no one likes the police.
No, we get
but
very
now,
frightened.
yes, things have changed.
We're terrified.
Yes.
When I saw the police van downstairs, I was wondering what I did wrong.
Yes.
Oh, no, but where was the problem? But literally, I realized that you were actually coming for the interview.
Yes.
But no, it's wonderful, and I'm glad that the South African Police Service are taking this initiative, and I'm glad that Swaliha from our outreach departments also has taken this initiative to partner with you all in this venture, because it is important. What happens is that when you have these tournaments, you build this camaraderie.
Yes.
And I think that's important. That's what we're trying to achieve, the camaraderie between schools. But we're also going to be very careful. We're going to be very careful because we don't want a system of rivalry between schools.
Yes, sir.
We want to win this game. We all want it, and that type of thing. But as if the spirit is correct, and I'm sure the spirit is going to be great tomorrow. And I'm sure that we're going to also reach out to you all tomorrow to get a few reports how things are going, some telephonic reports and things like that.
Yes.
Sergeant Ginny, you have a message for our listeners?
Okay, what I can say to our listeners, you can come in numbers. Again, it's on Saturday, tomorrow, the 17th of May, 2025. The venue is Ashaville Grounds. At 10. The kickoff started 10 a.m.
And how you have it? You've got for the under 14s, under 17s, under 12. How is it?
No, this year is just an open. Yes, no age restriction. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So how many matches?
So we want each and every school to come with their strongest team. Yes.
Okay. So do you have a side that's going to participate?
Not this year. Yes.
No, I'm getting worried because if you have a SAP side, then you'll have to have an Al Ansar side. If you have an Al Ansar side, that means I'm going to have to participate.
No, sir, but next day you have to go and train this year.
Yes. You got it right. You got to train.
Yes.
But Sergeant Gilly, thank you for joining me on the program this afternoon. And I want to thank your colleagues who have joined you as well. Thank you so much. It's wonderful, to be doing a program in peace, knowing that you've got the protection of the South African Police Services in your studio.
Yes, sir.
Excellent.
Okay,
excellent.
Thank you.
All the best to you all.
Okay.
And thank you once again. We should meet tomorrow.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you. We spoke to Sergeant Gilly from the South African Police Services, and he spoke to us about the soccer tournament that's taking place tomorrow at the Ashaville Grounds at 10 a.m. amongst 4 schools. And yes, lots to look forward to. And of course, Al Ansar Outreach is going to be part of that tournament. So we're getting excited and we're looking forward to tomorrow, inshallah. It's time for me to bid you farewell. Tobeka, thank you for engineering and thank you for the job well done. Really wonderful working with you. Thank you so much. And I'll be back with you tonight, inshallah, at 9 o'clock on Let's Chat, when Buddy Govender and I will be discussing or rather continuing our discussion on Durban's Casbah. And tonight we're going to be focusing on the cafes and the tea rooms and reliving those wonderful, memorable moments. From myself, Faisal MJ Suleiman, before I bid you farewell, I'm going to remind you that the next program you're going to be listening to is Afternoon Jam, and I'm sure the team is making its way to the studio. From myself, Faisal MJ Suleiman, until 9 o'clock this evening, have a wonderful evening. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Looking to book your next holiday? Make your way to One Stop Travel and Tours. At One Stop Travel, we offer a wide range of holidays at the most competitive prices. Group tours